Picture this. It's the late 15th century. Britain, a relatively small island nation, is about to embark on an ambitious journey that will change the course of history. Imagine being on the cusp of the 16th century, where the concept of a global world was just beginning to take shape. Around this time, Britain, though smaller in size compared to other nations, decided to spread its wings and venture into the unknown, the uncharted territories across the seas. This was the dawn of what would become the most expansive empire in human history, the British Empire. It all started with a few overseas settlements and trading posts. These were humble beginnings, small steps into the vast expanse of the world. The British set up their first colonies in North America and the Caribbean in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. They were pioneers venturing into the unknown, establishing a presence in lands far from home. Now, these early colonies didn't have it easy. They faced countless challenges, from harsh weather conditions to unfamiliar terrain and hostile native populations. But these initial struggles were just part of the journey. With time, they learned to adapt, to survive, and eventually to thrive. The colonies started to grow, slowly but surely. They established trade, cultivated crops, and built communities. And with this growth, the British Empire began to take shape. It was an empire built not just on land, but on commerce, on people, and on the ideals of a nation determined to make its mark on the world. From these early colonies, the British Empire expanded its reach, establishing more settlements, trading posts, and colonies around the globe. It wasn't a smooth journey, and there were many challenges along the way. But with each challenge, the empire grew stronger, more resilient. By the end of the 17th century, the British Empire was well on its way to becoming a global powerhouse. The dawn of the empire had turned into a bright morning, and the sun was just beginning to rise. This was just the beginning of a long and storied journey, a journey that would change the world forever. Fast forward to the 18th century, the British Empire is spreading its wings across the globe. The empire was not content with its European dominions. It cast its eyes further afield, and Asia, Africa, and the Pacific Islands came into view. The British Empire, with its voracious appetite for power and wealth, began to stretch its influence to these distant lands, marking the beginning of an era of unprecedented expansion. In the lush landscapes of India, the British East India Company, initially a trading entity, gradually transformed into a political and military force. It was a slow and steady process, but by the mid-18th century, the company had established its dominance, laying the foundation for the British Raj that ruled the subcontinent for nearly 2 centuries. Simultaneously, Africa was becoming a significant sphere of interest too. The British were captivated by the continent's abundant resources and strategic importance. They established colonies in places like Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, exerting their influence and shaping the fate of these regions in ways still felt today. Not too far away, in the Far East, the Opium Wars marked a significant chapter in the empire's expansion. Fueled by trade disputes and tensions with China, these conflicts witnessed the British imposing their will, resulting in the cession of Hong Kong. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, the colonization of Australia marked another milestone. Initially established as a penal colony, Australia soon became a crucial part of the empire, rich in resources and offering strategic advantages. In each of these places, the British Empire sowed seeds of influence that would grow into vast territories. The empire's footprint was undeniable and its impact far-reaching. It was a period of exploration, exploitation, and expansion that painted the world map with shades of British red. The sun never set on the British Empire, a phrase that became a reality as Britain's territories spanned across all time zones. The 20th century marked both the zenith and the beginning of the end for the British Empire. At the dawn of this epoch, the empire stood as a global superpower with colonies spanning across continents. Yet as the century progressed, the empire's luster began to fade. The empire's role in the 2 world wars was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it showcased Britain's military might and global influence. On the other hand, the wars drained the empire's resources, leaving it economically vulnerable. Simultaneously, the wars kindled a spirit of nationalism among the colonized peoples. The seeds of independence were sown. In India, the jewel in the empire's crown, the struggle for freedom was reaching a fever pitch. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi led a non-violent resistance movement against British rule, sparking a flame that spread across the subcontinent. By the late 1940s, India had gained its independence, setting a precedent for other colonies. In Africa, the winds of change were blowing. Nations like Ghana and Nigeria were demanding their freedom, leading to a wave of decolonization across the continent. The British Empire was shrinking, its once vast territories now becoming independent nations. Across the Atlantic, in the Caribbean, similar movements were afoot. Islands like Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago were breaking away from colonial rule, further chipping away at the empire's global presence. The process of decolonization was a complex one, fraught with challenges. Yet, it was an inevitable consequence of the changing times. The 20th century was a time of great upheaval, a time when the old order was giving way to the new. By the mid-20th century, the once mighty British Empire had transformed into a mere shadow of its former self. The sun had finally set on the empire that once boasted that it was always daylight somewhere in its territories. Yet, the story of the British Empire, its rise, peak, and decline, is a testament to the transient nature of power and the indomitable spirit of human resilience. The British Empire may be a thing of the past, but its influence lingers on. The sun may have set on the British Empire, but its shadows continue to shape the world we live in today. Culturally, the British Empire left an indelible mark. English, once the language of a small island nation, is now the global language of business, science, and international relations. This linguistic legacy is a testament to the empire's far-reaching influence. It's not just about the words we speak, it's about the ideas, the concepts, and the worldview those words convey. Politically, the empire's impact is equally profound. The parliamentary system of governance, a hallmark of British political tradition, has been adopted in various forms by many former colonies. The rule of law, civil liberties, and democratic ideals, these are the seeds sown by the British Empire across the globe. Economically, the empire facilitated the creation of a global trade network, linking continents and cultures in an intricate web of commerce. From the tea we sip to the textiles we wear, the traces of the empire are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. And let's not forget the Commonwealth of Nations, a unique political association of 54 member states, nearly all of which are former territories of the British Empire. This association serves as a testament to the empire's enduring influence, fostering cooperation and shared values among a diverse array of nations. Lastly, Britain's continuing influence in global affairs, be it through diplomacy, military alliances, or cultural exports, is a lasting legacy of its imperial past. Even as a medium-sized power in the 21st century, the echoes of the empire can still be heard in Britain's role on the world stage. The British Empire, a historical phenomenon that shaped the world we live in today. Its legacy, like the empire itself, is complex and multifaceted, leaving a profound impact on the cultural, political, and economic landscape of the modern world.